on workplace trends. Workplace trends. Let's talk about the first one first. Here we're talking about contract work. So the thing here is this. Contract work, we need to understand, why do employers like this sort of arrangement? Many people are saying reduce cost savings, assessment, flexibility. So cost is I'm sure cost is a major factor, but I think underlying all this, right, is really this notion of the companies being able to respond faster, right? So they are able to respond faster to things that's happening in the environment, right? I mentioned to you all the uncertainty that's happening. Yeah. Somebody also mentioned this thing about gaps. So with things happening so quickly, right? Many a time, employers find that, hey, I need someone to plug this gap, to do this particular thing that nobody else in my company seems to be able to do, right? But I don't know how long it's going to last. But I need this done pretty quickly. So they resort to a situation like this where they hire somebody, it's a freelance or somebody on contract for maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Okay? Because they found that, hey, it's easier to hire someone on a short-term basis out there. Now, if I flip the table around, job seekers also sometimes like this sort of arrangement. Why do you think that's the case? For more variety, somebody said, more variety of job experience. I think enrich personal skills, more experience. Salary increase when you bring new skills to the new company, could be, especially if you get converted. More freedom, flexible. If you're an older worker, this arrangement actually be good for you. Flexibility again came up. Okay, low commitment, high flexible so as to cope with caregiving demands at work. Yeah, you're right, isn't it? It's about flexibility, isn't it? But, you also understand the notion of what? Being able to earn additional income as well, right? So these two opportunities, many of time, job seekers and even those people who are employed, they like this, right? This flexibility of, hey, maybe I take on something else, right? They want extra income stream. Remember, nowadays we talk about multiple streams of income. Don't rely on just your job, right? Obviously, there are cons, right? Obviously, right? Tan mentioned, right? No stability, but this sort of thing appeals to maybe a certain group of people. It doesn't appeal to everyone, especially maybe the older you are. You want a sense of stability, but at the same time, you also have to face the fact that as you get older, maybe having flexibility is something that is really positive for you. This notion of flexible work arrangement. So there was this interesting statement. The vast majority of employees highly value workplace flexibility, and Gen Z in particular places a premium on flexibility. Many people now look at this as a very big positive for themselves. So it is not something to be scoffed at already, right? There are people who really enjoy this particular portion, which means companies have to look at how they can manage accountability, how they can manage collaboration, right? So they are starting to introduce tools and processes to enable that, right? Only from the company's point of view, most of the time, if I allow my staff to be flexible work from home, I don't see them in office. How do I know that they're going to deliver the KPIs? How can I ensure the company culture? So they have to do all those things. Yeah, a few months ago, you heard about this notion that employers must have process for workers to request flexible work arrangements from December, right? So this December, a lot of people are looking forward to this. In fact, a lot of my past clients suddenly came back to me and said, hey, Ewan, how to do this? Okay, what is the best way to do it, right? So actually, I've come up with a short video to help explain what is actually this meaning, this flexible work arrangement request, and how you can best leverage on this and approach your company to ask for flexible work arrangement, right? So if you're interested in that, take a look. All right, the next portion, multi-generational workforce. I came across this stat recently, very, very interesting. Next year, 2025, 70% of the global workforce will comprise people born in 1981 to 2012. almost a 30-year gap, more than a 30-year gap. So imagine a company, you have someone who's 25 years old and someone who is 55 and all the ways in between. Companies are going to have to find a way for people of such diverse age groups to work together. Okay? Which means companies are focusing more on trying to engage employees to make sure that the employees have the right skills, right? And also to make sure that they have the right set of employees that help them solve problems, right? So that is something that's happening now, right? Now, those of you who are above 40, okay, I've actually done a couple of webinars on this, on how you can reinvent your career after 40, right? And part of this is really working with different generations.
Thanks for clicking on this short video. This is an extraction from a longer video of a workshop. The link to this longer video is in the description below. There, we discuss other facets of the same issue discussed here. Do take a look too.
So let's take a look at how we can cope with this workplace trend. Let's talk about dealing with the present, right? Again, this notion of acknowledging what's happening out there. So companies are more conscious about what value you bring to the table. So they're very conscious about what help you can give in the short term especially. And therefore, as far as you are concerned, you got to be very conscious of how you help people. This notion of reskilling or upskilling becomes very, very important right now, right? You again need to look at how you develop your skills further. Trend towards technology again. So maybe here we're looking at, if you are going to do something new, something different, chances are technology will be involved, right? You need to make sure you are not someone who works alone, okay? Especially when it comes to solving problems, yeah? No matter how good you are in your skills, in your expertise, you need to then more increasingly now look at how you work with different people of different age group, different expertise. Okay, this notion, flexible work now is becoming normal. Okay, and I'm anticipating by December onwards, it's going to be part and parcel of the work life in Singapore. Right? So we have to adjust to that. So given all this, all those things happening there, how do you feel now with all those things happening? Tell me about the positive as well as the negative feelings that you have. I'd like to suggest something. I think, there are good reasons to be excited about all these things, because you're looking at a different work arrangement which, if you manage it properly, actually can work to your benefit quite a lot. This thing about having better work-life balance. Those of you who are enriched with working with different groups of people, young people, yeah, it becomes something that you can look forward to, right? So I think there is a really good and positive impact on the way we work. Obviously, there are also negatives, right? So you may be feeling overwhelmed because, so many things happening. I'm very scared, especially if I don't contribute or I don't know how to keep up, right? I'm having difficulty in learning new skills. I'm very fearful of all this. Okay? So then we have to understand, let's take a look at why do we feel this? Why do we feel this? Why do we feel excited? Why do we feel overwhelmed? Why do we feel fearful? This notion of instability comes to the fore again. The risk of job loss becomes higher again, right? Are you being relevant or irrelevant in today's workforce? Something that you may be worried about, right? Something you may be worried about. The opportunity. Work-life balance, I mentioned that. The other thing which many of my clients got excited about when they finally understood this thing about flexible work arrangement and contract hire is that now they have the opportunity to actually maybe work as a side hustle, right? And many clients who are on the older age group, they start looking at the way they work very differently. Okay? Instead of being focused on getting full-time employment, where in the past they had so much challenge in getting full-time employment, I said, why do you consider something on contract? How does that help you? That opened their eyes. Okay? All right. So we talked about dealing with the present, right? So let's talk about how we move forward. How we move forward. Again, the same three buckets. So let's take a look at the possibilities here. What are the possibilities? I think I already alluded to that. You might start thinking, hey, maybe I should start looking at a different job or a different career, which would give me a chance to work in a more flexible work environment. Right? Being on a contract basis means that I have greater job mobility as well. Okay. Again, this notion of self-employment comes up again. Remember what I said about all the older workers? It's this notion of contract work, gig work, part-time, freelance. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities, especially for the mature workers amongst us. And even younger workers, especially those of you who do not want to be tied down. I've come across many younger people who feel disillusioned about working with companies because based on their short experience working in companies, they felt that there's never a right company for them to work at, or they want to have some form of decision-making process in their career life. So self-employment becomes part and parcel of the way they look at their own career. I like this notion. All the things that's happening here, right? The combination of contract work, the combination of working on a flexible way, the combination of the notion of working with different generations means you have an opportunity. You have a big opportunity to actually position yourself as someone who's an expert in your area. You define what expertise you have, right? That becomes your opportunity. What sort of action can we take, right? Even all those three things. I've said this before, right? This is something that we all have to do, right? In our career, is we need to look at what value add we bring to the table. Okay, so this becomes a fundamental aspect. Your value add comes more in the form of what problems you can help the company solve, or maybe if you're working on your as a self-employed person, what problems do you help your clients solve? Again, how does it match with who you are, right? When I started on my journey as a private practicing career coach, right? I looked at the way I wanted my career trajectory to be. How did it match up with the way I want to work with people? So I did a lot of self-reflection to come up with this decision. Okay? Branding yourself again becomes part and parcel of the whole thing. If you want to be seen as an expert, you need to brand yourself as an expert. If you are going to be self-employed, then you need to brand yourself and say, I can solve problems. I need you, Mr. Client, I am able to help you. If you want to change into a different career, then you need to brand yourself to say, I'm suitable for that career and what do I bring to the table? And what help you? Again, those of you, career coaches, could help you with all this, right? Again, they will teach you how to do it. You need to put in place the actions. Network comes in again. You will see this is, I think, the second or third time I brought this notion up of approaching your network for help. Okay, so it just goes to show that your band of brothers, okay, the people who are out there, the people that you have developed relationships with, okay, they are the ideal people to be able to help you with all the things that you need to do. Always develop relationships. Family becomes part and parcel of this whole journey. Okay? When you are on this journey of relooking at what you are doing, looking at how you're coping with all the things that's happening, the family has to be on board the same bus as you. Again, I have videos on this, right? We spent the last half an hour talking about workplace trends, okay? How we deal with it. Okay? And I think I hope you get the message that despite all the things that's happening, yes, there are negativities involved, but there are also a lot of opportunities.
Hi, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you've seen and can't wait for the next one, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel in the link below. See you soon.